What's up, folks? Welcome to another edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, back here on the U to the 2. So, tonight, we're going to be talking about Christian McCaffrey. Unfortunately, once again, he is back on IR with an ankle injury. And because he is back on IR for a second time this year, his season is now over. It's really unfortunate. But once again, here we are with no Christian McCaffrey. And we will finish the season without Christian McCaffrey. Dang. What's next? I mean, we're 5-7. What's next? I know the big question that a lot of folks are asking, and, it's a question that, I've had to ask myself. The big question: is it time to move on from Run CMC? Is it time to get to the point where we part ways with CMC, maybe try to trade him, try to get some value for him, all of the above? Here's the thing. And, I'm going to give my take on it, and I would love to hear what everybody else has to say, those that join in tonight. What's the phrase that they say a lot in situations like this? The best ability is availability. The worst ability is liability. This potentially, I guess you could pretty much say, is that type of scenario. And don't get me wrong, I love Christian McCaffrey. God bless him. It's a good guy. It's a great player. No doubt he's a great player. He wouldn't have the stats that he has to this day if he wasn't a great player. But it might be time. It might actually be time to consider looking elsewhere and see if we can get some sort of value for him. As much as I hate to say that. But this isn't his fault. No. This is not his fault. Now, I know a lot of people want to say, oh, he's fragile. Oh, he's made of glass. But let me ask y'all something. When he's a good 80+% of the playbook. Also, let me throw this in there. Let's take the 1,000 season, 2019. He accounted for 43% of the entire team's offensive yardage, which is the most of any individual player in the NFL. What the heck did you think was going to happen? The man did his job as much as he could when his number was called upon. What the heck do you think is going to happen? When you have somebody that's carrying the load constantly and constantly and constantly and constantly, what the heck do you think is eventually going to happen? Like, it bothers me so much to hear just him being fragile and him being made of glass. Is that his fault? Like, really? The dude likes playing. He wants to be out there contributing, and they keep calling his number. I mean, where else in the offense have we shined at? Consistently. And it's already bad enough without him. But when you look at the holes that we have on offense, I mean, what the heck do you expect? What do you expect? Hey, Scout. Welcome to the stream. He is a huge part of our team. I'm sad because we might have to release or trade him if he keeps getting hurt. And unfortunately, that's looking like the case. You know, it sucks. It's a really bad situation. It's a really bad situation. Now, the thing that was also said was that despite X-rays being negative, apparently the MRI came back that the ankle injury was more severe than it actually is. Now, some saying that this is them putting him on IR to preserve him. I don't know if that's the behind the scenes plan, but it's a big deal. And all I'm saying is when you have a player that accounts for the biggest percentage of the offense for years, I think the only time where he didn't have that much of a take was when we still had Jonathan Stewart his rookie year. And we were a little bit more of a two-back system at that point. But afterwards, the team just had been trying to run McCaffrey like a every down back. And when you have him involved in so many runs, so many checkdowns, just over and over again, I mean, he's literally 80% of the freaking offensive play calling, if not more. So when the guy is out there doing that, I mean, what the heck do you expect to happen? Like, can we really be surprised at these injuries? Like, think about it. Can we really be surprised at these injuries? I mean, it sucks that they happen, but I mean, can we really be surprised? Hey, ISO, welcome to the stream. Our season is over at this point. It may not be over statistically, but I think mentally and overall, you may be right. It's looking that way. It's looking that way. I'm not convinced that we'll bounce back after this bye. And it's already been said from Coach Matt Rule that he has no plans on making any sort of personnel changes at all during the bye. So we're stuck with what we have until the end of the season. And I just do not believe that we will finish strong. I don't. I don't think we'll finish strong. And just it's a huge blow. It's really a huge blow to this team. And now the morale is affected. The personnel is affected. I mean, shoot. I mean, look at Bank of America Stadium. We've only won 2 home games. So no energy at home. Our best player is out. Scout says, yeah, if we lose to the Falcons next week, we're 100% not making the playoffs. And it's sad because our players work their heart out. And you can see that during the games, but we just can't win. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I know you say the Falcons, but honestly, I think after this Miami loss, I think it's after this Miami loss, to be honest with you. But you could be right. You could be right. ISO says Cam got to bring back Cam MVP and hopefully still make the playoffs. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get that. It was like I said before, if we could get 2018 Cam before he got hurt, I'd be satisfied. But I don't think we're going to get MVP Cam. I really don't think we're going to get MVP Cam. And, also folks got to remember, it hasn't really, it's been just under 3 weeks? And, a lot of people are expecting Cam to just have everything locked down with the playbook. That, plus the fact that Joe Brady is the play caller, it's like, I mean, when we put everything together, can we really be surprised? Can we really be surprised, y'all? And what could be worse, we trade McCaffrey, he goes to another team, they use him correctly and just start smoking other teams. Then what? I mean, this is the kind of thing where we really got to start questioning the team and the organization's decisions. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is what? 25, 26, 25. Shoot. If things don't change, this man probably is going to retire before he hits 28 years old. I mean, shoot, Luke Kuechly retired before he even got close to 30. All I'm saying is, you go as far back as the 2019 season. If that's not enough evidence to show that Christian McCaffrey gets overworked and the whole entire house is on his back up to this point, then folks aren't looking at the big picture. Folks aren't looking at the big picture. Scout says Cam just returned. He needs to learn the playbook. He's not gonna be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in 2 games. Hopefully next season he brings back the 2015 energy. First off, I agree. Secondly, I don't know if he'll be back next season. And the reason why I say that is because I think Matt Rule was green on bringing Cam back as a last-ditch effort to try to help save this season. And unless some sort of miracle happens, it's not looking like that's going to happen. Like, this team would literally need the biggest miracle of all miracles, would have to win out, and every other team would have to lose out. That's literally the only chance we have. And that's only because right now we're not statistically out of playoff contention. Oh, and by the way, Washington just beat Seattle 17-15. So just thought I'd throw that in there. But honestly, I really feel for McCaffrey. I mean, all the dude was doing is his job the whole entire time. His number gets called on so much, he tries to go in and make a play. I mean, when you got to carry the house on your back over 80+ percentage of the play calls, you're going to break down eventually. I'm sorry to say, you're going to break down eventually. Not to mention, this ain't even the first time this has happened. So, tough situation. Really, really tough. But it might be time. Because I'll say it again. You know, the famous phrase is best ability is availability, worst ability, liability. And it's looking like this is the case for Christian McCaffrey, as much as I hate to admit that. Because I love the guy. And I hope that he can some way, somehow bounce back from this and at least have another season where he can make it through the season completely. Now, I know a lot of folks are also saying maybe start using him solely as a slot receiver and not out of the backfield. Maybe. But we don't really have an efficient play caller that knows to do that in Joe Brady. I mean, let's just keep it real. We don't have an efficient play caller that knows how to use Christian McCaffrey correctly. Because at the same time, while his 2019 season was legendary, what did it get us? 5-11. I mean, it doesn't really affect the record that much, y'all. With or without Christian McCaffrey, it doesn't really affect the record. That's another reason why the situation is really bad. And it's like they say, when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. When he's healthy, when he's out there on that field. But at the same time, we got a play caller that just doesn't know how to use them correctly. Not to mention, we have an inconsistent, bad O-line that has yet to be fixed. Hold on, let me get some water. So, what do y'all think? Is the era of Run CMC Christian McCaffrey over Carolina? Do you believe it is time to look to moving on from Christian McCaffrey, trade him, try to get some value in return for him? What do y'all think? Do y'all think it's honestly, seriously, like really think about it? Do you believe it's time to move on from Christian McCaffrey and try to trade him and try to see what we can get for him? What do y'all think? Because honestly, unfortunately, it's looking like it might need to happen. And with this injury happening, him being out for the season again, this is really going to put another asterisk on this upcoming offseason. Like I said, y'all, this is going to be a very interesting offseason for the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be very interesting. Like, if we thought last offseason was weird and up and down, shoot, this upcoming offseason is going to be really, really potentially strange. Because we got some decisions to make. Even with how these last 5 games may go, regardless of the outcome, we got some decisions to make. And honestly, I believe at least 2 of those decisions need to be bye-bye Joe Brady. And I'm sorry, but bye-bye Coach Matt Rule. I don't see the passion from this guy. I don't see it. And I really hope Mr. David Tepper gets on him during this bye. Because the only way that I could see Matt Rule saving his job, we win these last 5 games. But I highly doubt that is going to happen. I think it's like a 3% chance of happening. That's how unlikely I think. Hey, Super Treybo, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Do you think we will be looking for our future quarterback, Jason, in the offseason? It seems like we've been searching forever. Different quarterbacks, and Cam is now 0-10, dating back to 2018 as a Panthers starter. This is true, y'all. Statistically, this is true because remember, he did not start in the Cardinals game. So statistically, this is true. Well, 2 things. One, I definitely don't see Cam returning. I just don't see it unless there's some miracle that we win these remaining 5 games. I just don't see it happening. And 2, yeah, I believe we will draft a quarterback, but I honestly don't think it will be in the first round. I think in the first round it's going to be O-line. I think we got to go, unless we go hard in free agency for O-line, which I really think it should be a combination of free agency and draft. But unless we really go hard in free agency, then maybe draft a quarterback in the first round might happen, might be a thing. But honestly, this offseason, we need to go hard on O-line. I think we need to go hard on O-line. I think we need to look at quarterback. I think we need to look at safety, and I think we need to look at linebacker, especially middle linebacker. So O-line, quarterback, safety, middle linebacker. I think we can still do some things with our current running back core, especially if, with Chuba Hubbard, hopefully try to retain Amir Abdullah, or, if Reggie Bonifant can come back healthy, maybe we can do something there. Wide receivers, there's potential there, but just the play calling plus the drops haven't really helped. And we haven't really gone deep much. Once again, haven't really gone deep. And we have receivers on this squad that are deep threats. Defense, I think we need to retool the D-line, especially the interior. We may want to consider the interior of the D-line, tweaking that. Middle linebacker, we really need a middle linebacker. We need a middle linebacker. Because I'm sorry, Jermaine Carter, he ain't it. He ain't it. I'd keep him. I maybe consider keeping him for depth, but we need a middle linebacker. We also really need a safety because Justin Burris, he's fallen off. He's fallen off. We need a safety. Cornerbacks, I think, regardless of whether we get rid of Dante Jackson or not, I think we'll be fine at cornerback. But safety, we got a big hole on safety. And like I said, we need to really think about what to do about Christian McCaffrey. Because we also have to remember, man's got a huge contract. Big old contract. It's a lot of money. What was it? 70 mil? Or something like that? $64 million. I'm sorry, $64 million. 4 years, $64 million. Signed back in 2020. That's a big old contract. Made him the highest paid running back. So, and I just don't know, even if we were to try to trade him, I really don't know any team that would want to take on that type of contract. I really don't know of a team that would take on that type of contract. Super Treybo says, how's it going, Jason? Been doing okay. I hate to say this, but now I think I know why Luke Kuechly did not want to come back under Matt Rule. Real build, and I honestly don't know what the future holds. You and me both, bro. You and me both. I mean, and it's so unfortunate because Luke Kuechly is one of the most intelligent players we've ever had on this team. One of the most intelligent players. And he is greatly missed. But when you think about it, he saw something. Teddy Bridgewater saw something when it comes to Matt Rule. So, I don't know, y'all. I just, kudos for giving Cam a shot. I'm still cool with that move, but I just don't see any sense of urgency from this team, especially Matt Rule. And now it's starting to look down onto the players as well. Like, honestly, I have no idea even how many games we could potentially win once we come back from the bye with these 5 remaining games. Shoot. I don't even know, y'all. We could potentially finish 5-12. And if we finish 5-12, then you best believe Matt Rule's out. And it's like I said before with Phil Snow, it's getting to the point where defense is starting to get exposed, and he's not safe. Do I think he can bounce back? Yes. But right now he's not 100% safe. No. He is not 100% safe. Anyway, what y'all think, though? Is McCaffrey done in Carolina? Do we increase our efforts to trade him? That is, if a team can even stomach that contract. And then you have to also think about it. What's his value worth right now? What is his value really worth right now? Because if you ask me, my biggest fear is we trade him away, another team gets him, ends up using him correctly, and he ends up balling. Then that just proves to be more evidence that didn't use him correctly. And that is the organization. It's the coaching staff. So this is just a really difficult situation. And there's just no telling when it's going to get better. But out for the rest of the season. Got an ankle injury. And the thing is, in that Miami game, he only played in the first half? Like, his action was in the first half? I mean, he tried to get some feeling back in to that ankle on the sidelines, but didn't come back in, and all of his stats were in the first half. The 10 carries, 35 yards. So his final stats for this season: 99 rushes for 442 yards and 1 touchdown, 37 catches for 343 yards and a touchdown. Those are Christian McCaffrey's final stats of this season. So So just sucks. And this is all in 7 games. 7 games. It's a bummer. 3 games last year, 7 games this year. Yikes. Super Trebo says, I feel like ever since that Thursday night game in 2018 when Cam got hurt, just went downhill from there. They were 6-2 and the offense looked so good. Yeah. I mean, he was pretty much on his way to being back in the MVP discussion until he got hurt in that Steelers game. So, and then here we are trying to fast track him back, but, hasn't really had enough time to really get back into the system. Whole different system. I don't know, y'all. Like I'm at the point where I'm lost for words. Like, it sucks. It just really, really sucks. And now another man's career could potentially be in jeopardy. So, and then just hearing Coach Matt Rule say that over the bye, there's not going to be any sort of personnel changes, coaching changes, nothing like that. When I hear that, I just don't see a lack of urgency to even try to fix the problem. I just don't see that. You know? So I don't know, y'all. But one thing's for sure, I'm very, very disappointed in this coaching staff. Like, plain and simple as that. I'm disappointed in this coaching staff. Joe Brady is a trash offensive coordinator, and I still stick by that. Matt Rule is pretty much losing the locker room. Phil Snow, I mean, he's fighting. He's doing what he can, and it sucks because, in a lot of our games, the defense is on the field so much. But now it's getting to the point where the defense is getting exposed, especially these last 2 games. So it's just bad. I just this is just, it disappoints me, the lack of passion and the lack of urgency from this coaching staff. I just, but anyway, I think that's pretty all that I have in me tonight about this. But I'll reiterate, looking at so many places like Twitter and Facebook, what a lot of folks are saying about Christian McCaffrey, I think is totally unfair. Him being made of glass, him being fragile, I think that's totally unfair when you got somebody that's being used with over 80+% of the playbook and even came off of a season where he made up 43% of the entire offensive yardage. What do you expect? What do you think is going to happen? Putting somebody's body through that much stress, what do you think is going to happen? Not to mention he's a great guy. He has the attitude where he wants to be out there. He wants to play. He wants to contribute and help this team. Like, dang, is that his fault? Is that his fault for trying to do his job? I mean, it's unfortunate that these things happen. It sucks, and it gives the wrong kind of idea sometimes. But I think it's totally jacked up and wrong to consider this man fragile. I think it's messed up. I could see if he was going in there on every touch and getting hurt and not being somebody that's used or that's effective. I could understand that. But it's like, I mean, come on, this ain't like a Jamarcus Russell situation. This isn't like a Greg Oden situation. Like, I mean, shoot. Look at the late Steve McNair. Dude went through a plethora of injuries. But yet he still got out there and he played his heart out. And he did his best. And he had a barrage of injuries. It's just one of those things where if anything comes down to like a trade or just moving on, it's strictly a business decision, which I understand. But to say the dude is fragile, I think that's so unfair. I think that's unfair when you look at how much he is used, how much he is utilized, and the whole entire freaking playbook. I mean, it says something. Super Trebo says, Jason, did you hear about Sam Darnold was back warming up in practice? LOL. That's how bad it is right now. Darnold was told he was warming up soon just in case. Well, I mean, he was the original starter. So I mean, I guess he's out to get his job back, but yeah. Hey, Nathan John. Hi, Blitz. Like I messaged you earlier, he should become a full-time slot receiver. Hey, I've been hearing that quite a lot from many others. So, I mean, it's probably not a bad idea. It's probably not a bad idea. The dude has great hands, and he runs his routes really well. I mean, him getting catches was never an issue in the first place. I mean, the dude has great hands. He's definitely no Chuba Hubbard when it comes to catching. He would be an amazing as a slot receiver, like his dad. Great route runner, great hands, would get as much playing time as he wants and prolong his career. I mean, hey. As a matter of fact, I do remember there being, I mean, this was a long time ago. There were a few plays long time ago where he has lined up in the slot and has gotten catches out of the slot. But if anything, whenever he touches that ball, he gives it his all. And that's what I love about Christian McCaffrey. He touches that ball, he gives it his all. And then, I mean, realistically, could be better for his size. I mean, the dude is 5'11", 205 pounds. You know, I'm not saying that small backs can't be successful, but I mean, when you got a running back, like I said, I cannot stress when you got a running back that accounts for 80+% of the playbook and even had a season where he accounted for 43% of the entire offensive yardage, that's got to say something. That'll wear and tear anybody down, especially a man of his size. Just keep him out of the D-line piles. Otherwise, trade him for peanuts. Reinvest his money into the O-line. Here's the thing. What team would really take on his contract? Because we got to remember, he signed a $64 million 4-year extension. Hey, what's up, Ace? But I thought his test came back negative. Yeah, that's what was said earlier, but apparently, I guess they did another MRI and they said the ankle injury was more severe. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true or if this is their way of trying to protect him from any further damage, because they may have it in their minds that the season's over. It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Yeah, but CMC wants the carries. Like versus the Cards, Rule told him to stay off the field, and he went back on. When I say trade him for peanuts, I mean it legit. Trade him for a 5th round pick. That's the only way we get someone to take his contract. Only team that can take up his contract is the Jags. Well, shoot. If we're going to give him to the Jags, I want a pick. I want Andrew Norwell back, and I want Cam Robinson. I mean, Andrew Norwell already is not liking it over there in Jacksonville. And getting Cam Robinson would be an upgrade at left tackle. Especially over Cam Irving. Shoot, if we're going to give him to the Jaguars, maybe the 5th round pick, Cam Robinson and Andrew Norwell. Shoot, if we gonna offer him up to the Jags, shoot. Nathan says Jags ain't taking him. They got Robinson and Etienne. That's right, they do have Etienne. I forgot about him. I totally forgot about him. It's a good point. Nathan says teams will have cap space next offseason. So, I mean, someone would offer us something and take a risk on him, a contender. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's another thing I'm afraid of. Like just him going to another team, that team using him properly, and he blows up. Then that's going to really make us look bad. That's going to really make us look bad. Only other team is the Ravens, but they still need to pay Lamar. Oh, as far as trade target. Nathan says, "Who cares?" I mean, you say that, but it also is a reflection on the organization. Because I mean, it's happened with other players as well that we've let go. You know, it's a trend. It's the trend that sticks out. And then if that continuously sticks out, then who's going to want to play for us? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. You know, who's going to want to play with us? Because like I said, and like many others have said, we have a bad history of not keeping players and they go elsewhere and they're more successful. You know, it's a bad look. I understand we don't have any control over that, but it's kind of a bad look. It's a little bit of a bad look. While we don't have a quarterback and O-line, it doesn't matter. Pointless keeping CMC. If he does well somewhere else, so be it. Ace says, only contender that I can think of is the Ravens and Bills. CMC would be really good with the Bills, seeing how they use their running backs. Paying a running back before your quarterback and O-line sorted is amazingly dumb. So, are you saying that CMC didn't deserve that money or didn't deserve an extension? And like I said earlier, we're building this roster backwards. I have mixed feelings. Now, if you're saying too much money, yeah, I can see how that's a fair argument. If you're saying too much money, I can see how that's a fair argument. It's not that. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Just a little bit more. Your run game comes after you have the O-line in place. Having an O-line is very important to how well any running back plays. Facts. Yes. Facts. Indeed. And it has been bad that it hasn't really been addressed in a very long time. So this is true. It has not really been addressed. And Nathan says, if you don't have a quarterback, your run game isn't going to be effective as teams won't respect your passing game. Yeah, this is true. I mean, shoot, there was a time where we thought we kind of had something with Kyle Allen until we went up against the Niners, and then that just, stronger teams just became the best of us that season. I mean, and when you think about it, it's kind of like that with Sam Darnold. I mean, we won the first 3 games and then started going up against, a tougher team and the Cowboys, and that just set us off and then just went down. The whole team revolves around quarterback and O-line. If you don't have them in place, you got no hope. 2 key pieces of the offense, that's for sure. And it goes a long way. I mean, when I think about a strong O-line, I think about the Indianapolis Colts. I remember there was a time where they had a superior O-line, one of the best. If we can follow that type of example, that would really help us. Ace says, and some blame us for how bad Cam has gotten so fast because we did make Cam play through multiple injuries. Our team has a pretty bad reputation when it comes to keeping your top guys healthy. Yeah, facts. I can't disagree with that. Vietnam 26, welcome. The season is over. I hate to be negative, but our team is flawed and it needs help in many places. It's definitely looking that way. And honestly, I am not convinced that I'm not really sure what games we even have a good chance of winning with these 5 remaining games, Vietnam. I'm stumped. With the way we've been playing, I'm stumped. That plus Matt Rule's not planning on making any personnel changes or any sort of things like that during this bye. That says something. Ace says, I see why Deshaun doesn't want to come here. Yeah, because he doesn't want to get killed behind that O-line. So I know a lot of fans out there want to sell the house to get Deshaun Watson, but it's like we ain't got no O-line for him to play behind. That man will get killed. Shoot, he'll get destroyed. Vietnam says the high pick that we will get should be traded for more picks to build the O-line. I still think the O-line should be a combination of free agency and the draft. I think that needs to be a combo. I don't think it should solely be the draft. I think that needs to be a combo. Nathan says, I wouldn't want to either, Ace. We need to draft our own quarterback, I think. Might as well wait a year and draft O-line this year. O-lineman this year. Good O-line draft class. Yeah, I think we need to really go hard this offseason with O-line. We got to go hard. Super Trebo. Ooh, interesting. Honestly, considering if we get offensive line, I would rather get Russell. Oh, Russell Westbrook? Interesting. Tito Z, what's up? What's BC? But I can see our entire team in conflict. The team has broken down. Oh, badly. Let's see. Super Trebo says Wilson, then Deshaun Watson. Nathan says, absolutely, throw money and picks at it. Worry about quarterback in a year's time. Vietnam says, mixing up hasn't worked for us yet. Emphasis, Pat F-line. Well, when you go out and get a Pat F-line and a Cam Irving, now, to be fair, Pat F-line did do a little bit better at center, but when you're not really going to really address the need and bargain bin shopping, then yeah, if you mix it up correctly. You got to mix it up correctly. We just haven't mixed it up correctly. But just drafting like all offensive linemen and just, building on that specifically, I think it's risky. I think we need a combination of both free agency and the draft for O-line. Nathan John says Russell Wilson sucks now. I wouldn't want us going anywhere near him. His play has fallen off a cliff. Well, they did lose tonight. They lost to Washington. And the Seahawks, they've struggled this year. Let's keep it real. Seahawks have struggled this year. But Russell did play good tonight. He actually played good tonight. And hold up, Nathan. Wait a minute. Hold up. So far this year, Russell Wilson has let's look at these stats. Hold up. So far, played in 8 games, 144 completions, 64.9% completions, 1,811 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I wouldn't say that. Well, he has taken really good care of the ball. I mean, his QBR is kind of low, but I mean, he hasn't played in, as many games. But I mean, and how old is Russell? 32. I mean, he's definitely he's getting a little bit older. I mean, him and Cam about the same age. But I mean, I don't know, because I know he's been dealing with injury, but in the games he's played, I mean, he's definitely doing a lot better than our quarterbacks are doing. I mean, 12 touchdowns, 3 picks, still has a 64, borderline 65 completion percentage. I can't be hard on him, y'all. I can't be that hard on him. Now, is it translating into wins? No, but I can't be that hard on him, especially compared to what we're doing. I can't be that hard on him, especially when this is really his first, I guess, injury challenging season. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been playing in 16 games ever since 2012. So it's like, and I mean, let me see. Let me look at something else. Oh, let me get caught up in the chat. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me get caught off. Vietnam says, has everyone forgotten about Aaron Rodgers? He might be available. Potentially. I think he definitely will be available. That's what I'm predicting. Ace says, yeah, but Russell agent said that he would not choose to come here, according to Adam Schefter. Yikes. Nathan says, I can't see any decent vet wanting to come here. Unfortunately, facts. Don't use all of the picks on the line, just the first one. Use the others to build our defensive line. Vietnam, I would say O-line, yeah, I do agree defensive line, but I still think we need a middle linebacker and we need a safety. We got big holes on those two positions. Um, he's right, Blitz. What? He was missing throws by 10 yards. Ace says, I'd rather build a quarter around a younger quarterback. Oh, Nathan, he's on two of your fantasy teams. It's a shell of the player he once was. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of at a crossroads. I'm kind of at a crossroads because so let me ask you this. You don't think with how things are going, you don't think that his play is almost somewhat a percentage of how Deshaun Watson played, but the record doesn't speak for himself? What do you think about that? I'm curious. I'm actually curious because stat wise, I'm just saying stat wise, it don't look that bad, especially with the games he has played. Stat wise, it don't look that bad. Record wise, it looks really bad. But he says his accuracy has been bad ever since his first game back. Which game was his first game back? I'm curious. Really get rid of Matt Rule and Joe Brady. Hire Eric Bieniemy and keep our starting D. Without D-Jack and C money, it will cost money. Need to rebuild the O-line once again. I'm tired of rebuilding, but that is it. Yeah, facts. I'm tired of the rebuilding too. I feel you, Tito Z. He's been bad since late last year, honestly. He started playing crap from about week 10 last year. His play has fallen off so much compared to what it was. Yeah, but you're going to pay $40 million for a player who's not worth close to that. Oh, he's getting paid $40 million? Wow. I mean, week 10 last year, but I mean, Nathan, he finished with 40 touchdowns and 13 interceptions last year. And he finished with 4,212 yards. It's not adding up. And he had a 68.8 completion percentage, his highest of his career last season. I'm just saying, how did they do last season? Let me see how they did last season. And not to mention last season they made the playoffs. They only lost 4 games in the regular season. Russ is. Oh, let me get caught up. Rodgers would be good, but he ain't coming here to play behind the O line. Yeah, facts. Rather Rodgers for 2 years at 36 than Wilson for 5 years at 31. me see. Oh, hold on. Let me back up. Let me see. But still, I get where you're coming from, Nathan, but just there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking at that's just, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's like they finished with a great record. Yes, they lost that playoff game. And Russell Wilson, let's see, 11 of 27, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. I mean, yeah, not a lot of completions. And he got sacked a lot, which, rough for the O-line. Had 50 yards rushing. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really now. Don't get me wrong. You're on point with Sam Darnold. And like I said, the only reason why I was giving Sam Darnold a chance was because he was coming. The idea was he was coming from a bad situation to a better situation. But like I said, that didn't translate. We thought it did from the first 3 games, but that didn't translate. So, I mean, it is what it is. Fooled a lot of us. But I mean, says stats don't ever tell the whole story. It might not tell the whole story, but he did all that and the team finished 12-4. The team finished 12-4. Well, let me look at one other thing. One second. Let me look at one other thing. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 of those games, they scored, or 8 of 8 total games, whether there were wins or losses. But 8 of those games, they scored 30 or more points. 8 out of 12 of the 8 out of 16 of those games, they scored over 30 points. So I mean, I don't know. Like it's just hard. It's just really hard because when you look at Deshaun Watson, he had the breakout year that he had last season, but they only scored 4 wins. So it's like, I know that's not the end all be all, but that's what a lot of folks, especially analysts, that's what a lot of folks are going to look at, like what it translates to. Look at Christian McCaffrey, same thing, 1,000 for 1,000, and we only had 5 wins. So I mean, something's got to give. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Because at the end of the day, wins are what's going to get us a championship. I mean, I get what you're saying, Nathan, but wins are what's going to get us to a championship. I mean, stats are great. I like stats too. But at the end of the day, if we're not getting wins, then what's the deal? What's the deal? I mean, if we're not getting wins, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. It's hard. It's hard when you look at the final. When you look at the final, and it's just, but like you said, lost in the playoffs. First game lost in the playoffs. I mean, it is what it is. That did happen, of course. But it's just really really hard for me to 100% say with full confidence that 2020 was a bad year with over 4,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. It's hard for me to fully say that with 100% confidence. I can't. I'd be lying. I'd be lying to myself. I'd be lying to y'all. I can't. I can't. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. But I can't. I can't. Second half. Now, when you say second half, are you you said starting from week 10? You said starting from week 10? Let me get caught up on a couple of other chats right quick. Tito Z says, we keep CMC. He needs to be on the field regardless. He is being paid to sit on the bench and get rich. Not worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, but it's not his fault though. Got beat by the Rams backup John Wolford. I have to look up that name. Only thing that I'm scared of is if we get Deshaun, I can see David Tepper putting up an irrational deal to get him. Houston said first round picks and or young defensive players. So by young defensive players, we're looking at guys like Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin. Yeah, pretty much. Also, if we get Deshaun, expect some protesting all offseason. Yeah, it's going to be a divided fan base if we get Deshaun Watson, regardless. It's going to be a divided fan base. Just need to blow the team all the way up and start over. O-line first and then quarterback. We address the defense. Like a complete blow up? I don't know if we need a complete blow up. Maybe on offense, but I don't know if we need a complete blow up on defense. He's good in the 2-minute drill. Middle linebacker has been a weakness since Luke, and safety hasn't been worth anything since Mike Minter. But I agree that we need to fix safety and middle linebacker. Yeah. Wilson was that's where he gets most of yards these days when teams are in prevent defense and he's hurry up. Wilson was a great quarterback when he had an all-star defense forcing turnovers and giving him short fields. Let me see. Okay. The Rams game, he definitely struggled. 22 of 37, 248, 2 interceptions. Definitely struggled. Arizona, 23 of 28, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Philadelphia, 22 of 31, 230, a touchdown. New York, 23 of 40, 27 of 43, 263, a touchdown and a pick. The Jets, 21 of 27, 206, 4 touchdowns and an interception. Washington, 18 of 27, 121, a touchdown and an interception. Yeah, I'd say that was kind of a rough game. The Rams, 20 of 32, 225, a touchdown. San Fran, 20 of 36, 181, 2 touchdowns. It's questionable, Nathan. No, that's questionable. Questionable, but I don't think it was enough to really. I don't know. but that's questionable. That's questionable. I can see where you're coming from. It just doesn't seem like it affected enough. I mean, 2 losses in that second half. So I mean let's see. Let's look at the games we should have won. The Giants, Washington, the Dolphins. Coaching needs to be addressed steeply. Yeah. And honestly, I really feel like the Eagles we should have won. I think we should have won the Eagles game. Shoot. Let's call it a season at this point. In other words, tank. No tanking. No, because that means we give up. No tanking. No. Players don't get paid to tank. Teams don't get paid to tank. No tanking. Because by tanking equals you giving up. You're quitting. No quitting. We ride this out no matter what. We ride this out. No, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that. That's such a wave the white flag. I mean, yeah, the season looks bad, but we don't give up. We still got 5 games to play. We don't know what's going to happen in these 5 games. I mean, let the folks finish the season. Let them finish the season playing their best if they can. But tanking, I can't stand the idea of tanking. It's a coward move. It's quitting. It's quitting. It's intentionally quitting. Regardless of the benefits. Regardless of the benefit. I can't support that. I can't agree with the idea behind tanking. Coach Herman Edwards said it best. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. You talk to any of those players, I bet none of them are thinking tanking. Shoot, they trying to get their paychecks. There's a lot of areas that need work, especially on the offense. And we got holes on the defense, but I cannot support the idea of tanking because it equals intentionally quitting. And it's, and if they decide to do that, I mean, so be it. That's on them. I'm not them. But I can't support something like that. And if that's what they're going to do, it's going to suck. Like, why bother? You know what I mean? And it's like, if we want them to tank, let me ask you this. if you want them to tank, if you honestly want them to tank, why bother watching the games? You know? Why bother watching the games? If you want them to tank, what's the point of watching any more games? You know what I mean? And it's not a good look. It's not a good look. I can't support the idea of tanking. I never will, regardless of the benefits. I can't. Ace says, well, look at the teams that have tanked. Bills, Chargers, Colts, look where they're at now. What about the Lions? What about the Lions? Apparently that doesn't always work. And they're on their way to potentially another winless season. I'm sorry. If you're intentionally losing games, you're quitting. That it is what it is. The benefits might be facts, might exist, but it doesn't change the fact that you're quitting. You're intentionally losing. That's quitting. And the thing is, why tank? Why not just forfeit? If you're going to do that, why not just forfeit? Forfeit every single remaining game. Carolina Jeff, exactly. Try convincing our players to tank and see what happens. Not good. And that's the thing. You bring that up to players and coaches, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. The Lions don't tank. They just suck. I know one Lions fan. And I feel for her. I really feel for her. I think that's probably the only Lions fan I've ever met in my entire life. Yeah. Do y'all know any Lions fans? I only know one. That's a rare thing, meeting a Lions fan. Tito Z says, I would like to see a switch to 3-4-D and have Luvu get more playing time. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about it. Well, then again, how often do our players account for 3-4-D? Because honestly, I'm not a fan of 3-4-D personally. Because I think we tried that and we really didn't have the personnel. Our players quit, so it's not like they can take the high road. But still, just the whole idea behind it, it's really sad. It's really sad. And besides, it's not like we had that low of a first round pick this past draft. We were what, number 8? We weren't that low. Ace says my uncle's a Lions fan, therefore pray for him. Fair enough. Vietnam says we will lose every game until they see us in line for a top 5 pick. Then they will win a meaningless game, knock us back to outside the top 10. We had the 8th pick. And you have to also remember, Vietnam, we had the 8th pick, and we still had an opportunity to get said specific players. So we can't keep holding that one win against Washington against the team. We can't keep holding that against the team because we still had an opportunity to get O-line in the first round. Just we didn't get Penei Sewell. So we can't keep holding that loss against, or excuse me, we can't keep holding that win against the team because we still had opportunities. We still had opportunities. Derek Brown didn't play much this week, did he? That's a, you know what? Let's check. I wanna say it was mainly him, maybe some rotation between Daquan Jones and, well, Derek Brown only had 2 total tackles. I mean, I don't know how much more action he had in the, actually Daquan Jones had a lot more action. 5 tackles. And so did Phil Hoskins. I mean, Phil Hoskins, he had a sack. So yeah, I believe this was Phil Hoskins' first game. I think this was his first game, Nathan. Um I think Derek Brown might be traded. Another fail for this coaching staff. I just always figured he wasn't meant as a player to eat up sacks, but to, I guess, clog holes and be a run stopper. That's really all I can say about that. Watch our losses, games where our players basically lay down for teams. Exactly. Zach Wilson was the pick for us, or that big O lineman from Oregon. I mean, that Vietnam, that's who I wanted in the first place was Penei Sewell, and we were 1 pick away, but the Lions got him. But we were 1 pick away from getting him, but the Lions got him. But I mean, either way, it would have been a risk because, like I said, yeah, we could have gotten O linemen, but still, we had a big hole in cornerback after letting go of Bradbury. Bradbury. After we let go of James Bradbury, I mean, we had D-Jack and really nobody else. And I know that Nathan, you had mentioned before about Josh Norman, but we got to be honest. Josh Norman didn't really break out until the 2014 season, and he got drafted in the 2012 season. Because remember, he got bumped down in the depth chart. And then once 2014 came, he pretty much established himself. But it was not instant for Josh Norman. Let me see. We hate a dogfight. When the going gets hard, we chuck in the towel. Therefore, the players should have no problem with laying down for the rest of the season. But nobody's going to just do that, though. I mean, come on. If the coach went up to you and asked you to do that, would you do it? Like, seriously, would you do that? Um, we getting ate up through the middle. Luvu brings a present in the D. Why not give it a shot? In the past 2 games, the run is against us. Looks bad. 3-4 wouldn't hurt. It would be good to see Frankie Luvu get more time. That's for sure. Brown and Marshall Jr. have been wasted picks so far. There went our O lineman. We have the personnel for 3-4 already, to be honest. Interesting. I mean, the only thing with Marshall Jr. is that he's been hurt. I mean, same situation with J.C. Horn. But I mean, y'all, we can't control the outcomes of these. Like, injuries happen. It's unfortunate, but we cannot control the outcomes of these. Because y'all would be saying the same things if we went O linemen and they got hurt. It's not any different. Like, the injury bug sucks. But we got to remember, y'all, these things happen at the most random times that we least expected. Steve Smith's gone through that. Cam Newton's gone through that. Jake Delhomme's gone through that. Like, so many have gone through that. Unfortunately, those things happen sometimes. We can't look at those and say, "Oh, see, this is why we should have done that." That's unfair. That's unfair. No, nobody predicted J.C. Horn was going to get hurt, and he was an immediate impact when he played. Immediate impact. Let's see. Let me get caught up. Either way, we passed on Rashawn Slater. Yeah, that is true. Like I said, there were opportunities. I won't deny that. There were definitely opportunities to address that O line. I definitely won't deny that. Won't deny that. and Marshall, I mean, he had a pretty good preseason. That's all I can really say about Marshall. And my guess is they went in on him as, I guess, the Curtis Samuel replacement. That's the only reason that I see them going in on him. Was he drafted a little high? Perhaps. But that's really the only reason I saw them go in on him, is the Curtis Samuel replacement. That's all I can say about that. But nah, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that J.C. Horn was a bad pick. He was an immediate impact. And then also, we got to think about this as well, y'all. We got to think about this as well. Those that got picked first and second: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. How are they doing right now? How are they doing right now? I mean, if anything, the one quarterback that's been drafted, that's really been successful so far has been Mac Jones. And the sad thing is, he wasn't even my top pick. Ace says, I kind of put Terrace's play on Joe Brady. We never throw deep, and Terrace is a deep threat. That's a fair point. That is definitely a fair point. Marshall, yeah, I did remember. I think it was mentioned in the draft prospects that Marshall was dealt with some injury stuff at LSU. What was it, Nathan? Was it an ankle? Was it an ankle or something like that? An ACL or something? Remind me if you remember. I mean, Vietnam says, wasted pick, in my opinion. J.C. Horn was a good pick, but he was one we didn't need. One we didn't need? Are you sure about that? It may not have been the top priority, but it was definitely a need. Because all we had was Jackson. I mean, Troy Pride, he's terrible. We didn't really have somebody to complement the opposite side, bro. Because Pride wasn't it. Corn Elder, he struggled. I mean, maybe the only thing I could have seen them doing is maybe take a chance on STO to third. I mean, thankfully, Keith Taylor is starting to show a little something, but it would have still been a big risk. Because aside from Dante Jackson, who else would you have put? Actually, that's a better question. Vietnam. Who would you have put on the opposite side of Dante Jackson in coverage? Who would you put on the opposite side if we didn't go J.C. Horn? Wilson was doing good until he got hurt. Mac Jones is balling, and we could have got him instead of Marshall. Free agent corner like Richard Sherman. I mean, Richard Sherman would have, I don't know. Not a bad thought, because I was kind of thinking about Richard Sherman. Unfortunately, he's been kind of dealing with some injury issues. I mean, you say it doesn't matter, but when the defense is giving up points after points, it's gonna show itself. It's gonna show itself. Both sides of the ball still have to matter. I mean, you say two scrubs at cornerbacks, but then they're gonna get exposed. They're gonna get exposed. And you have to also remember what division we're playing in. The receivers we got to go up against. You know, Michael Thomas ain't always going to be injured. You know, Mike Evans, you know, Chris Godwin. You know, shoot. They had what's his face? Falcons tight end. I can't think of his name. Kyle Pitts. Calvin Ridley. I mean, we still got some bangers at wide receiver in our division. We would have been getting smoked. Free agent like William Jackson. I'm trying to think. Free agent cornerback. I take it. I still think JC was a good pick. Our corners are already getting exposed. The team identity should be to outscore our opponents and build defense later. I mean, it was only just recently that this started happening, though, with the defense. I mean, you know, right now Dante Jackson is really struggling, and then you have to also factor in the coaching and the fact that the offense doesn't do their part. Therefore, when the defense is on way too long, they get gassed, you know? Fact of the matter is, the objective is we need to be a complete team and we need to play a complete game. I mean, we're already seeing the results when we don't play a complete game, and we've seen it quite a lot. We've seen it quite a lot this season, unfortunately. Cornerbacks are a dime a dozen, not high on the priority list now. We need a quarterback and O-line. Nothing else matters until we have them in place. We ain't winning a division crown until we have a quarterback and O-line. I can agree with that. especially the O-line part. I can definitely agree with that. If we can score 40 a game, then the defense doesn't need to hold a team to 17 points. I don't know. I don't know about that. Don't forget, we have plenty of players, plenty of teams in this league capable of comebacks. Shoot, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, any team he's on. Nah, we gotta play a complete game consistently. That's what it's gonna take. Think about it. When we went 15-1, we were playing complete games for the most part of the season. Now, I understand that we've had to play from behind or one side of the ball will bail us out. But that 15-1 season, most of those games were complete. Surpassing league. Yeah, that's starting to show more and more as time passes, to be honest. So that's a good point. We don't have the offensive coordinator to outscore the opponent, though. And that's another thing that needs to be addressed. We got to have the players and the personnel as well. Because right now, we have the talent. On paper, we have the talent on offense, but at the same time, when you have a bad O-line plus a bad play caller, plus we've gone through the whole quarterback carousel, it doesn't really add up. It doesn't really add up. And yeah, the defense gets gassed. Yeah, you look at a lot of the games this season, the defense definitely got gassed. So that's true. That's very true. I agree. Vietnam says we have too many holes to be a complete team, which I agree. We need to focus on the one side of the ball and make that elite, then work on the other side. Well, in response to that, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about the defense as compared to the offense? And also, let's throw in special teams. Because, actually, you know what? Here's a good question. Since we've hit the bye, give me a grade currently. Give me a grade for the offense, defense, and special teams. What are y'all's grades for each of the three? Now that we're at the bye, we're on a break. What are your grades? I would love to hear what y'all have to say. Because Vietnam, you brought up some good points. Colts led by Peyton Manning used to do that every year and won it all after they put the defense in place. Oh yeah, the year they won the Super Bowl, defeating the Bears. Nobody does a 3-and-out better than the Carolina Panthers. Well, we do suck on third down conversions. Brady sucked. Go away, Joe Brady. Go away, Matt Rule. Ouch. Let's see. In 2015, our defense just about gave up every lead we had in the second half. It was our offense who led the league in scoring that made us elite. But we were high up on defense that season, though. I'm sorry, but 15-1, that wasn't just one side. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that. 15-1, that can't be one side. That can't be. That's near impossible. I don't know if I can agree with that. 15-1. 15-1. Not to mention, you know what? Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look. Okay. I don't know, Vietnam. I mean, looking at these wins, 20-9, 24-17, 27-22, 37-23, 27-23, 27-16. We had the overtime victory, 29-26, 37-29, 27-10, 44-16, 33-14, 41-38, 38-zip, 38-35. In the loss, it was 20-13, and then 38-10. And then the playoffs, 31-24, 49-15, and then the Super Bowl loss, 24-10. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, Vietnam, we've had 9 games that year where we won by well over double digits. 9. So I'm not saying that the offense that Cam Newton didn't run his comeback drives. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but it's hard to say that the offense was the best throughout the whole season and the defense didn't pull their weight when none of those wins and then let me look at y'all's grades right quick. Vietnam gives offense a F, defense a C minus, special teams a F minus. I don't even know if an F minus exists, but it is. It is what it is. Tito Z says F for the offense, B for the defense. Do you have one for special teams? Ace says special teams C minus, defense A minus, offense D plus. Nathan says offense F, defense B plus, special teams C plus, mainly because of Zane Gonzalez. But nah, fan. Let me look at a couple of things. So remember the 20-9 victory. Josh Norman had 2 picks. One of them was a pick 6. Let's not forget. One of them was a pick 6. So that's one. Like, I'm curious to see the let's see the turnovers. Let me look at the turnovers. So that Jaguars game, I mean, we had 3 takeaways. Jaguars game, we had 3 takeaways. Texans game, we had 1 takeaway. And in the New Orleans game, let me see. First round New Orleans game, we had 2 takeaways. I mean, we're getting takeaways we're getting takeaways per game, bro. Like, the defense was definitely pulling their weight. I mean, shoot, the first meeting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we had 4 picks. And technically, we had 5 takeaways because one of them was a fumble. Not to mention, that was another game. Josh Norman had a pick 6. I mean, we had a complete team that year. We had a complete team that year. I mean, yeah, Cam Newton definitely had his comeback drives. You know, those final drives. He definitely had his comeback drives for sure, for definite sure. But I mean, we have to also look at it like this. When you're getting takeaways in games, you're going to increase your chances. You're going to increase your chances. Now, unfortunately, there have been a few games where we've won the turnover battle. But yet still didn't translate into wins, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. We did get exposed. And that's the thing. We got exposed in the Super Bowl, but like still so many people want to blame that Super Bowl loss on Cam, and I think it's ridiculous. I don't see how that Super Bowl loss can be blamed on Cam when O-line didn't do a good job. I mean, for crying out loud, Cam got sacked 6 times. He got sacked 6 times. And even Ted Ginn got sacked. A big part of that was the O-line. Especially Mr. Mike Remmers. But yeah, a lot of people want to blame that loss on Cam. I mean, what really could he do? He got sacked 6 times. And 2 of them were strip sacks. So I mean, and even more clear evidence of that game was not even Peyton Manning played well in that game. He didn't play well that game. He was 13 of 23, 141 yards and an interception, and he got sacked 5 times. But and I think one thing that really upset me was the one play, the catch that Cotchery made that they reviewed and ruled incomplete, which I thought was garbage. But yeah, that was a pretty much a defensive. That was a battle of defenses for the most part. And the thing that's so sad about it, the Broncos had Matt Paradis, had CJ Anderson, and that was another bummer. Man, I was hyped when we got CJ Anderson, and look at how that turned out. Man, I was so hyped when we had CJ Anderson. Man, I was so hyped. Cam wasn't good, but we were smashed on offense. everywhere. Players dropping passes, couldn't run, couldn't pass block. Gang missed field goals. And Peyton Manning played worse than Cam. Yep, show did. Show did. Coney Ely. I mean, yeah, Coney Ely had the pick. He had the pick. It was like almost like a one-armed pick. Not only that, he also had the fumble recovery. He had a pick and a fumble recovery. So I mean, did we lose focus on this year, or are we looking into the past to fix future problems? We're all over the place, Tito Z. We're all over the place. I kind of miss Sean McDermott. He would change up the scheme to confuse teams, unlike Phil. And that's starting to become a problem for Phil Snow. He's not making adjustments. He's not making adjustments. Coney Ely had 2 sacks. He had 3, actually. He had 3. So he had 3 sacks. One of them, he had 3 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a pick. So yeah, he had 3 sacks. So so yeah, just but so it looks like pretty much everybody in this chat, it looks like y'all are on board with, I guess, trading Christian McCaffrey. I know, Nathan, you said, trade him for peanuts. But it's pretty, I guess it's pretty safe across the board. Vietnam, I don't know if you chimed in about CMC, but if I missed it, remind me if I missed it. Tito Z, you as well. And Ace, I think you said you were down for trading CMC. But oh, you're torn with trading CMC. Oh, okay. Yeah, man, I love Coney Ely, but it's kind of sad to see him in the CFL. I'd rather see him strive in the NFL, whether he's on the Panthers or not. I didn't even know he was bumped to the CFL. Wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, it's really sad about CMC, y'all. It's really sad. I hope he can bounce back, but it might not happen with Carolina, y'all. It just might not happen with Carolina. Oh yeah, Nathan, you did say slot receiver. Yeah, you did say that. Keep CMC if he took a pay cut and slot receiver. Move him to slot receiver. Yeah, you did say that. Tito Z says nobody wants to get that contract, which I agree, but play him regardless. It is a waste of money to trade him. Okay. But on his current wage, trade him. Money can be better spent elsewhere. Gotcha. Yeah. I do agree that we got to do something to get some picks back. If possible, to get some picks back. But looking at this remaining schedule, David Newton even wrote an article. Carolina Panthers playoff hopes gone with Christian McCaffrey's season-ending injury. And the sad thing, the Panthers are 4-3 this season with a healthy McCaffrey, and 1-4 without him. Statistics clearly show the Panthers are better with the NFL's highest paid running back than without him. $16 million per year. Perhaps the biggest indicator of how much the Panthers will miss McCaffrey is total QBR. The average is 43 with him and 27 without him, which would rank last in the NFL if that trend continues. Yo, that's scary. Without C-Mac, we have an average of 27 total QBR. That's not good. That's not good. Trade Derek Brown and find a vet nose tackle. We miss a player like Starla Tulale. And if I remember correctly, wasn't he a big factor in the Super Bowl? Because Star, he didn't play in the Super Bowl. If I remember correctly, Star didn't play in the Super Bowl. Just like we didn't have Michael Oher, if I remember correctly. Marty Herney is still haunting us with that CMC contract. Yeah, that's an indictment on Joe Brady. Yeah. They say, he says, record-wise, the numbers aren't quite as skewed for the past two seasons. Since Carolina was 0-3 with McCaffrey in 2020, that makes the overall record the past 28 games 6-12 without him, 4-6 with him. Regardless, Carolina's chances of making the playoffs were tough enough, 3%, before the extent of McCaffrey's injury was known. They become tougher with the remaining schedule of Atlanta, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. And it looks like the workload is pretty much going to be split between Chuba Hubbard and Amir Abdullah. When McCaffrey is out, the Panthers have run 11 personnel, one running back, one tight end, three wide receivers, 70% of the time compared to 55% of the time when he played. That's on the offensive coordinator to make adjustments. CMC is not the world of the Panther Nation. Got that right. The more spread out the formation, the tougher it will be for an already struggling offensive line to protect the quarterback. Facts. McCaffrey's absence will also take a toll on the defense. Check this out, y'all. Carolina's percentage of drives without a first down this season goes from 33% in games he has played to 42% when he hasn't. More time on the field for the defense typically results in struggles, which is true. Third down success has fallen from 37% with him to 32% without him. Winning also will be tougher because points will be harder to come by. Over the past two seasons, the Panthers have averaged 21.8 points with McCaffrey, 18.8 points without him, which that's a drop in offensive efficiency from 50.27 to 41.23. Yikes. I don't think Tepper is going to get rid of CMC. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. here in Australia to watch us for the rest of the year, I don't think. Is that one? Oh, man, that's right. That time difference. That's got to be a killer time difference. Man, you're a trooper. You're a trooper for being able to do that. I got to give you credit, Nathan, for being able to do that. You're a real trooper. But hey, you're a fan, so I get it. But yeah, you guys, that's a big deal. The differences with McCaffrey and without McCaffrey. Those are big differences, y'all. And part of me kind of feels like there's some regret with not keeping Mike Davis. But yeah, I mean, it just really goes to show how much of an impact McCaffrey made when he plays and when he doesn't play. Nathan says, I'm not watching our dumpster fire offense with Hubbard running 2 yards up the middle. We'll be lucky to put up 20 points for the rest of the year. Yeah, Chuba, I mean, he'll occasionally break one, but then at the same time, he has rock hands. He has rock hands. So, need to find a way to win without him. Yeah, and we need to find that way now. So, no more McCaffrey the rest of this season. We have 5 games left. Mike Davis has been bad this year for Atlanta, to be fair. This is true. This is true. He's had a lot of opportunities this season with Atlanta. But Cordell Patterson is their leading rusher. So I mean, yeah. And Mike Davis has had a few more carries than Cordell Patterson, but really Cordell Patterson's really been their leading rusher. I feel like one of the only positives. Well, DJ Moore is almost at 1,000 yards receiving. He'll probably get that. Yeah, he's probably going to get his 1,000 yards this season. So I mean, DJ Moore is still finding a way to still look good. And as a matter of fact, I think he broke the record between him and Steve Smith for quickest player to get to 4,000 yards receiving in his career, or 4,000 yards. So, ugh. Tito Z says, all coaches know, even I know, get out of the RPO with Cam and run a 2-back and a 2 tight end set. Mix it up. And that's the thing with the tight ends, because Cam's biggest success through the air was at tight end, throwing to Greg Olsen. And we haven't really been able to consistently throw the deep ball because we don't get the time to. We don't get the time to. I mean, we'll make a deep ball count every once in a while, but yeah. Son Reddick is looking like he's going to get voted into the Pro Bowl. That's a positive. Oh yeah, he's definitely making it. He's definitely making it. Might be the only player from Carolina that'll make it, but yeah. And the thing that's sad, the thing that's really sad with DJ Moore, 4,000 receiving yards, only 14 touchdowns. That's the really, really sad thing. 4,000 yards, but his touchdown numbers are low. But he's still young, only 24 years old, still very young. So, I mean, he's been our main reliable receiver for the last couple of seasons, So, yeah, looking at this remaining schedule, I just don't know, y'all. Like, we only have 2 home games left, and we haven't won. We've only won 2 games this whole season at home. And the 2 home games we have left are against the Falcons and the Bucks. Hassan is awesome. Yes, he is. And he better get re-signed. Probably my favorite player on the team. He's so good to listen to in the press conferences. The man speaks his mind. I appreciate it. CMC's Instagram post was pretty sad. Oh yeah, did y'all see that? Let me read that. Let me read his Instagram post because, yeah, I feel like it was partly encouraging, but at the same time, it is kind of sad. But check this out. This is from CMC's Instagram. And I quote, "I love playing football and have dedicated my entire life to what I believe to be the greatest sport in the world. Getting healthy and back on the field this season has been my focus every day from the time I wake up until I go to bed. I've put family, friends, and all other interests on hold so I can fully concentrate my efforts on treatment, training, practicing, studying, preparing, and playing the game I love at the highest level, which is why my season coming to an abrupt end today leaves me devastated. I am thankful to everyone who continue to help and support me through this difficult time and promise I will fight with everything I have to return bigger, stronger, faster, and better than ever. Hashtag keep pounding." And he also left the scripture of James 1:12 from the Bible, which says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial." And this was CMC's Instagram post. He's got the right attitude. He's got a lot of heart. He's a good guy. And it's just, I feel that in his words. I feel that in his words, his overall attitude. I feel that. I just have a feeling that his best chance of being successful will probably have to be on another team, y'all. And I hate to see that happen, but that's probably where, and unless like Nathan John says, maybe give him a shot at slot receiver. Maybe give him a shot at slot receiver. But, tell CMC to take a chill pill. Oh, why you say that? He's passionate. He's passionate. He likes being out there. But, some say the Panthers organization and the coaching staff ruined him. It's not a bad argument. But it's sad to see this. And I can imagine he's trying his best. With his usage, he's definitely trying his best. And he's doing his job. So it's not life and death. Could be worse. Stop worrying so much about things out of your control. You can't prevent injury. It's luck and genetics. I understand that, but when you get injured, I've I've never, thank God, thank Lord Jesus, I've never had any serious injury before or any type of injury in my life, thankfully. But I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like, torn ACLs, broken feet, broken limbs. Like I can't even imagine what it must feel like, but I would think that it would be demoralizing and sad and hard to get through, you know? And just when they happen, that it sucks. It royally sucks, when you're not able to get out there and help your team, you know? We've ruined a lot of players, sadly. Yeah, that's true. Tito Z says, one win against the Falcons, maybe again. I hope we can get both. Then the only chance may be against the Saints. Nathan says, he should talk to Jonathan Stewart. He had a lot of injuries early in his career and battled back in his late 20s. Thomas Davis would be a good candidate as well, now that I think about it. Ace says CMC went 3 years without an injury in the NFL. Dude just has terrible luck. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, unfortunately. Just had really, really bad luck because when he's on that field and he's healthy, he plays well. Dude, I tore an MCL and an ACL at the same time. It sucked, but today you can never even tell. Ooh, jeez. Yikes. At the same time. Ooh, man. Well, I'm glad you're able to recover from that, but oh God. I meant Stewart from a running back perspective. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I see what you're saying. That makes sense. From a running back perspective. No, that makes sense. Good point. That makes sense. Stu used to do ankles and hamstring all the time. This is true. This is true. I mean, he's still considered one of our best running backs that we've had in this organization. I mean, yeah, Christian McCaffrey's done a lot of things, but Jonathan Stewart's still up there as one of our best running backs. But I mean, we might beat the Falcons. Bills, I don't see it. And honestly, I don't see us splitting with the Bucks. Saints, I mean, Saints, it depends. It depends on who they have by the time we play them. I mean, they're the second to last game of the season. So it's really going to depend on what kind of personnel they have by the time we play them. That's what I'm saying. He was very injury prone, but then he stayed healthy for like his last 4 years with us. Yeah, even got our only touchdown in the Super Bowl. And he saved that ball. He didn't give that ball away. He saved that ball. Ace says, I broke my arm while I was trying to stay up in the middle school. A defender shoelaced tackled me, so I tried to do like a stumble recovery, then heard a very loud pop. Yikes. Jeez. Sorry that happened. I'm glad you were able to, recover, but man, yikes. Like I said, I've been very blessed and lucky to have avoided injury. I mean, I'm sure y'all are in much, much better shape than I am. I will say that. Y'all are definitely most likely in a lot better shape than I am. So I only played Little League football. So, yeah. Little League football, and I did play 2 years of flag football. So, yeah. Nathan got 30 stitches in his head. Ooh, jeez. Man, y'all been through some stuff. 4 years ago. Man, y'all have been through some stuff. Shoot, I'm glad y'all are here to this day because, man, sounds like y'all have been through some stuff. Ace says it didn't really hurt until they were doing the x-ray. Oh, yeah, I can imagine that has to be scary. It has to be scary. But I really wish we knew to what extent Christian McCaffrey's ankle injury is. Like, is it a broken ankle? Is it a fractured ankle? Is it a twisted ankle? I mean, we don't even know what the extent of the injury is. The only thing we know is the MRI says that it's more severe. But like, what's the injury? Like, we don't even know what the ankle injury is. Like, what's the injury? We just know it's a. Okay, well, to be specific, they said that it will not need surgery and that he's expected to be ready for next season. So yeah, that's what they said. They said it won't need surgery and that he would be ready, expected to be ready for 2022. They are holding back on telling us everything. It's probably the same as last year, high ankle sprain. Yeah, Nathan, wasn't it a high ankle sprain? Then he played in the Chiefs game and then re-aggravated it. I think that was the case. But yeah, no. But then they're saying that a lot of this is going to be dependent on if the ankle heals properly. So won't need surgery provided that the ankle heals properly. So it's his left ankle. So ankle injury versus the Bucks, missed 4 to 5 weeks. Oh, shoulder. That's right. I'm sorry. Shoulder. That's right. That's right. In the Chiefs game, shoulder. Thank you for correcting me. Ace says, what position did you play in Little League? I played running back and still do. I'm in my second year of high school. Whew. So we had a small team. So I actually had to play both sides. We only had 16 players. Sad. I was wide receiver, which I enjoyed, and free safety, which I hated. I hated free safety because I'm a small guy. I'm only 5'6", and I didn't really make tackles. I just held the guy until I had somebody else help me, and then finished the tackle. But I hated playing free safety because if they score, it's my fault because I'm the last person to beat. I'm the last person to make the touchdown saving tackle. I hate free safety. The only highlight that I ever had was one interception. And it was a very, I don't know if it was luck or I was just in the right place at the right time, but I won't ever forget. It was my second year. I only played 2 years Little League. It was the second year. It was a home game. It was the Raleigh Bulldogs versus the Patriots. I think it was the Pender County Patriots or something like that. I forgot where they were from. But I won't ever forget. And we won this game. But it was a pass play, and it was a short middle pass. It bounced off the receiver's shoulder pad, and I just happened to be right behind him, and it just fell into my hands. I was just, and then my mind for a second was like, oh God, I have the ball. So, and the last thing I heard was the coach saying, Jason, run. And I was able to get 5 yards before I got pushed out of bounds. But yeah, bounced off his shoulder pad, fell right into my hands. I just happened to be right behind him when it happened, and it just fell right into my hands. Ran 5 yards, got knocked out of bounds, and when they announced my name, pass intercepted, Jason Ingram, I went crazy. Not gonna lie, Blitz, that was 100% luck. Oh, I don't doubt it. Trust me, I legit was like at the right place at the right time, and it was off a deflection. It was off a deflection, I just happened to be there. But hey, I'll take it. Tito Z says he is lucky. My mother wasn't the coach. She would say, you better get your butt out there and play. Dang. Well, he's not wrong. Strap that ankle and give it a pain-killing injection. Players soft these days. I mean, well, then again, like I said, I've never had a high ankle sprain, so I y'all have to tell me how that feels, because I've never had that. I've never had a high ankle sprain, so I don't know how it feels. So I'll take y'all's word for it. Hey says, that feels terrible when it's your fault. Something happened in football. It just feels different than any other feeling. Yeah, and that's why I didn't like playing free safety. But there was one game that, because I did so well in practice, they let me play defensive line. They let me play on the edge for one game. And it was a muddy game. It was a very muddy game. It was against the Cary Imps. But because I did so well in practice at the line, they put me at defensive line for one game. If CMC hadn't been paid, he'd still be playing this year. Well, perhaps. That rule will select you if you're not careful. With the 6th pick in the 2022 draft, the Carolina Panthers select cornerback Jason Ingram, Blitzball Champ YouTube channel. Shoo. I'd have to have a couple of months to get in playing shape again. Shoot, I'm 37 years old. Shoot, that'd be a old low draft pick. Oh man. Ace says, I remember my first touchdown. It was only like 2 yards, LOL, but my 7-year-old self treated it like I ran 99 yards. Oh, dude, I don't blame you. Hey, that's a touchdown. That's a big deal. Tito Z says, I played with a broke pinky finger and a groin strain. Yikes. Ooh. Jesus. Wow. No money, just be on the field. Shoot. But then again, they could pay me the low salary. I don't have to be making millions. Shoot, give me what a punter makes. How about this? Can I punt? I don't mind punting. Can I punt? I can evolve into a Pat McAfee, perhaps, maybe. I could still get a workout each game, you know. but but I do miss football. I do miss football. I had the chance. I tried out in middle school. I tried out at middle school, but I didn't make the team because I was too small. I knew the plays. I worked hard, but the coach didn't want to risk me getting hurt. So Little League was the next best thing I could do. That was the next best thing I could do. You can't be any worse than Derek Brown, at least. Well, I mean, who knows? Put me on the edge. I can try something, you know. No, Jason, return punts. Do what Alex Erickson does, and you're good. Oh, heck no. Heck no. Punt return or kickoff return? Oh, heck no. No, 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 no. No. I've had the opportunity to return one kick. One kick. I hated it. I hated it. Oh man, nah. Special teams, punt, no. No. Tito Z says, I get it. I tried for a semi-ball team and didn't make it. It sucked. My brother actually played semi-pro 2 years. Did okay. He was free safety. He was free safety. Played on special teams as well. He did well until he got hurt his shoulder. And then after that, he called it quits because he injured it twice, and he was like, I'm done. But yeah. But like I said, that's the one highlight that I have from Little League is the lucky interception. That's like my one highlight. Being at the bottom of the pile in football hurts. Yeah. Hurts like hell. Yeah. It does. Yeah. Oh, Nathan says my brother played professional Australian football. Oh, that's what's up. He good? He still play? Oh, that's pretty cool. Shoot. I miss it. I definitely do miss it. And I wish I could still play, but you know, I'm just not in the shape. Although I do really love Ultimate Frisbee. Oh, I love me some Ultimate Frisbee. Ultimate Frisbee, a lot of fun. And you know, I'll still play some flag football. Flag football's fun as well. But yeah, I tell you, those some good memories. It was just really rough because we had a team with only 16 players total. So we had to rotate a lot on plays, and had to play a lot of Iron Man football. So yeah. Tito Z says I'm 50 and still missing playing ball. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Ace says I'm 5'10", 150, and my coach let me play. But then again, I'm a running back. Yeah, man, that's gotta be something. Getting all those carries. Man. Nathan says, not anymore. He's younger than me, but he's 38 now. Stopped playing 6 years ago. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. Big boy. And Nathan's only 6 feet, 220. Yeah, I'm 5'6", and I am about 215. It's been a while since I've weighed myself, but I'm in that 212, 215 range. But yeah, but see, I'm small. I'm only 5'6". So yeah, I'm not getting any taller. But but yeah, those are some good days. Those are some really good days. But anyway, y'all, it's getting late. I want to thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for sharing. Y'all really, really went in on the sharing tonight, and I do appreciate it. Do appreciate y'all sharing y'all's opinions and thoughts. Y'all really went in tonight, and I appreciate every bit of it. I have a really good backup, so we usually split carries when I get out of breath, kind of like Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. Oh, that's what's up. Ooh, two back system. I like that. How old are you? I'm 37. 37. You're 41. Oh, so you're a little bit older than me. All right. But yeah, 37. But he splits. This stream was fun. Yeah, I had fun with y'all. Thank y'all so much. I love when y'all share. We may not always agree, but I love when y'all share. I love y'all picking my brain as much as I pick y'all's brain. So thank y'all so much for contributing to tonight's topic and many other topics as well. I mean, we were all over the place and it was fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the attendance. Y'all have no idea how much I appreciate it. So thank y'all so much. Well, I don't think we're going to be seeing much happening with this bye. So we'll just, take a break, see what happens. Like I said, McCaffrey's out for the season. So we got a break this Sunday. We come back at home against the Falcons. We'll see what this last ditch effort looks like in these remaining 5 games. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But no matter what, keep pounding. Some way, somehow, we're going to get through this. And then we're going to have a very, very interesting offseason. Very interesting. It's probably going to be wacky. Going to be really, really wacky. So just be ready for it, y'all. That's all I can say. Just be ready for it. United in misery. Yeah. This is true. Be safe and have a good night. You too, Tito Z. I'm gonna go watch Ghostbusters this weekend, I think. I might watch the Bond movie, the newest Bond movie. I have a movie ticket I still have to use in like 26 or 27 days. So I still have a free movie ticket I gotta use. So yeah. Looking forward to it. Have a good one, folks. All righty. This has been another Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, and I thank y'all so much for joining me. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow. Stay safe. Keep pounding. Some way, somehow, we're going to get through this. But we'll see. Love y'all. Have a good night. Peace.